Well, thanks for being here, everybody. That should be working now. And let's get to it. So thanks for letting me know you couldn't hear me. We made some adjustments. We messed with some settings. So hopefully now you can hear me, and hopefully I look clearer on your screen than I have in the past. That's what we're going for. I'm paying close attention to the drop frames so far. No drop frames yet, and we're streaming in about 8,500, 8,600 kilobytes per second. So that looks good. Okay, I'm gonna mess with one more setting now that I'm seeing what you guys are seeing here. Just a second here. Yeah, I think I'm going to, on my screen, I look really, really washed out. So this is dangerous doing this on the fly, but I took the hue down maybe just a little too far because I was looking kind of pink, kind of red. I'm gonna play with that just a little bit there. Let's see, what's that look like over there? Okay, we're gonna call it good. We're gonna go for it. Welcome to the stream, everybody. I am thinking we might get through this one without any problems. For those that don't know, we had an old computer. It was an old computer, really good computer actually, but its motherboard decided to give out, so we were having some crashes. Got a new rig now, and finally took the time to really dig in and try to get the settings better. So we are hopefully a little bit improved on how we're doing things. Okay, I'm gonna change one more thing here. Now that I'm seeing this live, I don't like how bright I am, so I'm gonna take that down just a little bit. And I think I'll just leave it there. That's not so bad. All right, so we did a test stream a couple days ago. Everything was running smoothly. We didn't have any crashing or anything like that. So I think we might have fixed the problem. So let's do this. Let's do this stream. Okay, we're gonna start as we always do with our shipping report. We're gonna talk about a giveaway, and then we're gonna get to your questions and comments and just talk about aquarium fish. So let's do that. Someone says you're very shiny. Yeah, well, when you have a full head of hair like I do, you always look shiny. Yeah, that's something maybe we'll play with a little bit. In order to not look as washed out, we had to get some pretty strong lights, but they don't have any diffusers or anything like that on them, so that might be a next step. But for now, I'm just happy that I show up. The other thing is these dark shadows from my glasses, those lines down on each eye. That's something I want to play with too. I can maybe get a light to kind of fill that, but what I think I probably need to do is probably wear contacts, because I have, a key light, fill light, rim light is what I'm operating with here, but it does cause some, I don't have as much glare on my glasses as I did when the light was, in front of me, but I do have those shadows, which we're just going to live with it for tonight. But anyway, we'll move forward. We'll make some more progress for next time. I think I'll just wear contacts, perhaps, is what I'll do, to not have those bars on my face like a raccoon tetra. Raccoon, anyway. Anyway, that's the docket for tonight. The shipping report, the giveaway, and then talking about fish, and maybe showing you some new fish that we have listed at dansfish.com. If you're in the market for some aquarium fish, we've got you covered. To start the shipping report, last time I reported to you, we were at 99% success. We have dropped ever so slightly, 1/100%. We are now at 98.99. We did have several boxes delayed last week, and due to that, there were some losses. There was one box of chili raspberries in particular that did not do well, so I want to really apologize to that customer. Box got delayed a day and did not go well, but still at 98.99% success rate the last 12 months rolling. There's going to be a hiccup every now and then, and I just look at the overall statistics when that happens, and I'm like, okay, we're still doing a good job. The math says that we are, doing what we need to do. So anyway, that's the shipping report. I would like to report that it improved, but it didn't. It dropped just slightly. And with that, the reason I do this, for those that might be new, is every week I tell people how shipping went. And it's a bit of a bummer when things don't go perfectly. But I think it's important to do. And the reason I do it is I want to get in front of you every week and have to report on how we're doing. Our mission is to make it so the customer is successful with humanely sourced and transported fish. We want to be humane with the fish and make sure that the customer gets something that's nice and healthy, as I like to call it, fat and sassy, that will succeed, that they can succeed with on whatever project they're trying to do with their aquarium. That's our mission. And so I think it's important to incentivize myself and my company to never forget that I get in front of you guys every week and give you the real tea and tell you, hey, it went great this week. We had, yay, we improved, everything's fine. But when there's a problem, I need to tell you, because when I do that, it keeps my company honest. It keeps us focused on the thing that matters. And much as I hate the few times when I have to get in front of you and say, actually, we had some issues. Much as I hate that, doing that keeps our bar really high, because we know that in 7 days, we're gonna have to get in front of you again and tell you how it went. So that's why we do that. We want the incentives aligned so that we focus on our mission, fulfill it, and don't get too distracted. There's lots of companies out there. I'm not saying just in the fish industry, in the aquarium fish industry. There's lots of companies out there, period, that have these really nice sounding mission statements. But when you look at the company, you're like, but you're not doing that. Why aren't you doing that? And the reason is their incentives don't drive them to do that. And people follow their incentives. It's just human nature. So here at dansfish.com, what I'm trying to do as a CEO and a leader of this company is make sure that our incentives are aligned with what we're trying to do, with what we actually say we're doing. And I have to prove that every week. And so that's why we do this. Anyway, that's the shipping report. Let's get to the giveaway. It's a good one. Before I got to enter something in Nightbot real quick. And Nightbot kind of changed how it does things. So there it is. Okay. Getting it in there, just a second. Okay, there it is. So hashtag, what should it be this time? I'm trying to think of something fun. And I didn't. What I came up with was pretty boring. You'll see it in a second. Anyway, we're giving away a group of this fish. This is a truly amazing Corydoras, or now it's called osteogaster. They changed the scientific names on these, but I'm just going to call it Corydoras. This is eques, and I think these are one of the prettiest, one of the neatest of all Corydoras. They have this beautiful blue coloration and then this nice orange on them. And they'll get that orange kind of down the back too. Here's a good picture. See that orange down the back and on the fins? As they mature, this is a younger one here. Basically, to me, what they kind of look like is this. This is a fish we're all familiar with. Hang on, something went wrong. Okay. So these are some, wow, that is one saturated picture. These, that's good. This is an orange Venezuelan Cory. See how it's got the nice orange on it? And then let's find some here in the black here. So orange Venezuelan Corys look very similar to eques, except for where it's more black on an orange Venezuelan Cory. Let's find some that haven't been, really saturated here. Anyway, where it's black on an orange Venezuelan cory, on the eques, it's this nice blue coloration. That's what makes this fish so beautiful. And in my experience, they're a hardy fish. I mean, provided they go through the supply chain well, they're a hardy fish and easy to feed, friendly, like to be in big groups like other cories. They act like most of your standard Corydoras. So the challenge with these, as I understand it, is that they're not as easy to breed as like an orange Venezuelan cory. There's a little bit of challenge to them. I met someone at the Keystone Clash who breeds a lot of them, had several that they had bred for sale there, and asked them, what's your secret? And what they do is they stimulate the dry season and the wet season. So they, quote unquote, neglect the tank for a couple months. You know, don't do a lot of water changes, not a lot of food. Let the water maybe evaporate a little bit to simulate the dry season. And then after that, they do big water changes and give a ton of food and all that to simulate the rainy season. And that's how they trigger these guys to spawn. So that was their advice. I see a weird line right here. I'm gonna see, I think I can fix that pretty easily. Or can I? No, I'm not gonna worry about it this time. We'll fix that next time. So anyway, that is Corydoras eques. So if you want to win a group of these amazing cories, then enter hashtag Cory in the chat and you'll be entered to win the giveaway. Enter hashtag CORY, no spaces, caps don't matter, but just like it says up here at the top. And you will be entered to win what I think is a pretty cool giveaway in the form of some Corydoras eques. I mean, how often does that happen that someone is giving away a group of these fish? Not often. All right, looks like people are successfully entering. I want to make sure they're being, yeah, there we go. So once this happens, I know Nightbot is successfully grabbing the entries. So we should be good to go. Let's see how our stream health is. Stream's still healthy. A couple drop frames, 1.6%. So that's pretty good. I think we're still in good shape. Technical difficulties that we've had the last few weeks have not been fun, but I'm hopeful that we've figured some things out. K. Henry, welcome to the Fishmonger crew. You are now a Danio or Danionella, as you prefer. Thanks for joining us. Geek Boy, starting this off right, Johnny Clash 2025. It's like short and sweet, no extra words. Johnny Clash 2025. So for folks that don't know, we have there's a gentleman that works here at Dam's Fish and has been at my side for a few years and helped us grow this business from its infancy. His name is Johnny, and he's been working so hard for the last few years that he hasn't really had a vacation. And so folks have decided they're going to take it on themselves to make sure he gets to the Keystone Clash and gets a trip in 2025. So that's what folks have been using the Super Chats for mostly for the last few weeks. Steenfod Aquatics gifted a membership. Steenfod, I hope you're doing really well. Hope you and yours in Little Steen are doing awesome. Good to hear from you. Okay, with that, let me take you guys over here to dansfish.com to show you a couple things. So here's the homepage when you land. If you land on newest listings, click that, then you'll see the stuff that's, well, the newest listings. And we have some cool stuff. So a few more Manicapuru redback angelfish. This is a beautiful strain. This comes from a breeder in Europe. They do an awesome job. The fish we got in already have nice red on the backs on the larger ones of the batch. The smaller ones in the batch haven't got much of it yet, but when you see that starting to come in, you're like, okay, this is the right fish. So these are excellent. Now, they're pricey. Anytime I bring fish in from Europe, they tend to be pricey, but they've done a lot of the work for you. The strain is absolutely stunning. They've done a good job breeding this fish and raising it right and working the line so that that red is nice and vibrant and the fins look good. I'm a killifish freak. We have just a few more of these Funnel Panchax Spore and Burgai. Easy fish to breed and raise. Nice little killifish if you want to get your feet wet. Can be spawned in mops, wet incubated, water incubated, or you can put them in peat moss and dry them out. It's up to you. Either way works with these guys, so you can try some things. The blue diamond angelfish, I think the most popular angelfish we have here at Dan's Fish. Really beautiful, not quite as expensive as a redback Manicapuru. And we sent at least a couple of these out today. And I took a look at them before they went out, and I thought they looked pretty darn good. So if you're getting blue diamond angelfish from us tomorrow, if they're in the mail right now, then I think you're going to be pleased. Some more of the longfin white cloud mountain minnows. I have a hard time getting a shot that really shows the nice extended long fins. This shot from Chris Luca, who's been kind enough to let us use some of his pictures, shows some of the extensions, but with age, they're gonna get, you can kind of see it, this long extension on the dorsal fin, and these are younger, these don't have the extensions yet. This one does, this one has an extended caudal fin, tail fin, and on this one you can kind of see the extensions on the dorsal anal, and it's bent, but you can kind of get an idea of what it's like on the caudal fin. One day I'm gonna get in there and get some nice crisp pictures of mature males with nice fully formed fins. Just hasn't happened yet. Some more neon dwarf rainbow fish. For those that have been waiting, we have a nice big group available now, and they're doing awesome. We only have a few of the African banded barbs at this point. They've sold pretty darn well. They're healthy, they're happy, they're doing awesome. And it's not one we get in very often. So I don't want to create FOMO, but do be aware when these are sold out, we probably aren't going to have any more anytime soon. Some of these tuxedo delta tail guppies. Nice, big, vibrant fish. Really healthy, really nice fins. Coloration wise, some of them have a little bit of red on the tail, which if you're if you're breeding for a tuxedo type in the blue and black, that's what you want to breed out of your line. But the fish themselves are really nice. And then here's some more, just the variation's pretty wide in this strain, just to be fully upfront. That being said, look at these nice long dorsals. There's a lot going for them. But to get the colors perfect, depending on what you're going for, this line is going to take some work. Or if you're the type of person that likes nice finnage and beautiful guppies and doesn't care if the line is perfectly set, then you're going to be really happy with these babies. You're going to get a variety of different looks from the offspring. Just a few more of the turkeys. Just had Thanksgiving. Turquoise guppies. These for years were my favorite guppy until I met the red-tail platinum Dumbo ear guppy, which I think outshines it. The reason I like it is these nice bright blue tops that glow from the top. They look good in a tank. The dorsal surface glows in a tank, but in a little pond or uncovered aquarium or low set aquarium that's close to the ground, they really, really shine. Love those guys. Have for years. Just a couple of these left. These are the green smoke angelfish. They get this blue-greenish hue to them when they're, growed up and mature. I wouldn't say they're bright green like a banana leaf or anything like that. I want to be honest, but they do have a tinge of blue-green to them. Another killifish, Fundulopanchax emiati. One that I think is awesome. It's got this nice contrast with the blue and the yellow. Those are complementary colors, so if you think of the color wheel, that's like a perfect contrasting fish with the red to interrupt it. Hardy fish, easy to breed, easy to keep. These are the females. And one that I would like to see regularly in the hobby. Just a few more Aspidoris ramundi. Oh, literally one. We're down to our last Aspidoris ramundi, perhaps. A few more Melanotania calitawa. This is one that we're making some efforts to breed. Johnny's collected, we put a mop in the tank and have collected a lot of eggs. And at this point, Johnny's got quite a few fry going on. So they take a while to grow out, and I don't think we'll be able to breed enough to fill the demand. This is a very in-demand rainbow fish, but we're doing a little bit. It's more for fun than for profit. By the time these are bred and grown out and all that stuff, it's not gonna be tons of profit, but it's neat to see Johnny raising some of those. Chili rasboras, perfect nanofish, super small, super peaceful, super beautiful. Like, chili rasboras are awesome. And if they're sourced correctly, they're actually rather hardy. We've got a good group of those available. This is one that we haven't had listed in a long time. I can't catch the color of these perfectly because they're super iridescent. So in order for me to show any color, I have to tone down the highlights a lot in Lightroom after I take the picture. That's what this is. I've taken the highlights down so the fish doesn't look iridescent, but that's the only way that you see the golden color on them. This, I haven't taken the iridescence down much. As you can see, it's pretty darn shiny. This one's got some white in it, this nice kind of butter and cream going on. But really nice high-fin platy strain. These are not your average gold platy. This is a line that is, if you saw this and compared it to the industry standard gold, did I say platy? Gold molly, gold sailfin molly, you'll instantly be like, oh, I see why those are $189.99 for a pair. If you like mollies and you want to start with a strain that's already in great shape, this is one that's been worked really, really well. Some albino cherry barb, some more raccoon tetras, and I think at this point, that's about what I haven't talked about yet. The rest of them, I think I went over last week. So that's some of the stuff that's available now at dansfish.com. Some of the new stuff. We have, what do we have? 270 fish species or varieties available at the moment. So if you're looking for a fish, we might be able to help you out. Okay. Now let's shift gears and get to your questions and comments. So if you have a question or a comment for me, what I would like you to do is enter this. We're looking for this bright orange boxes. So if you go down here to the chat and you put @DansFish, then all these options will appear and DansFish will be one of them. If you hit the DansFish option and put, this is how you make a bright orange box for Dan to see, and post that, then it's going to turn into this bright orange box. And as I scroll down the chat looking for things to respond to, what I'm looking for are those bright orange boxes. So that will help me, help me manage the chat. And I do that because a lot of the comments here are just folks talking to themselves. Hey, Uncle Smiley. Hey, Kelly. Hello. You know, just friends saying hi and talking back and forth. And I want to be able to skip from comment that's directed to me to the next comment directed at me without having to read through all that, because then we have a bunch of dead air time and that makes for some bad television. So I'm trying to tighten it up, make it so that everything I see is something that's a comment or question that I can actually respond to, so there's not as much dead time. So that's why we do it that way. Before we do that, I want to thank our moderators for being here and keeping everything kosher in the chat. We really appreciate you volunteering your time and supporting us that way. Also, the moderators tend to be members of the channel, and those memberships are also very supportive. So thanks for being, I don't know, what's the proper term for that? Just thanks for the continued support, I would say. We really, really appreciate it. It's the only way we grow our business is with a community that supports it. That's really how it works. I got a super chat from Stephen P 2003 Aquatics, aka not Stefan. Does Johnny even want to go to the clash, and should we care? Well, he's going. Whether or not this is called mandatory fun, right? You're gonna go and you're gonna like it. Mandatory fun. Kelly Foreman, Johnny will go to the clash if we say he's going to the clash. That's right. That's right. Was that like, it's like something the great Santini would say? This is a better orange box. It gets Johnny to the clash. So when you do a $20 super chat, it makes an orange box. Yeah. Well, thanks folks for your support. Thanks for helping Johnny get there. I want him to go just because I want the guy to have a break and a reward for all his hard work over the years. All right, let's do this. Coro Works. What's your favorite shrimp to pair with the Corydoras giveaway? I don't think I have any available right now, but I love the Cardinal Sulawesi shrimp. We're letting our colonies build back up because we sold a lot. But they're these guys right here. These are just fantastic. Corydoras dennerle. They have like what looks like little white gloves on. I don't know, Michael Jackson gloves. Look like they're doing jazz hands all the time. They're beautiful red with these white/blue dots on them. And look at that. See look at how cool that looks with their white little glove claws, fans, or whatever they are. I think that's a really cool one. But when it comes to shrimp, there's another Sulawesi one that I really like, which is this. The Starry Nights, because of this really intricate pattern they have. I mean, look at that thing, the Starry Night Sulawesi shrimp. How it's just like fancy lace. This really neat pattern. Look at this thing that it has on it. And this is natural, by the way. Both these shrimp I'm showing you, this is what they look like in nature. This is not, you know, man-made like the cherry shrimps or the bee shrimps. Like, I think those are fantastic. The orange shrimp are awesome. Like, I mean, it's a bright orange shrimp. What's not to like? So I think if you want a really cool wild type shrimp, I'd go the Starry Nights or the Sulawesis. The orange are awesome. We've kept those with Corys without a problem. And then the other thing we've kept with Corys are Amano shrimps. Sometimes if they're in a tank that has algae issues, then Amano shrimp are your friend. So those are some options. I mean, there's a bajillion options. So it's kind of like, what do you want? But almost all of them go well with Corys. Scrolling here. Ooh, chestnut's scrolling super well. So here we're at 3.5% dropped frames. So next time I stream, I might lower my bitrate just a little bit so we don't drop. Maybe I'll just take it from like 8600 down to 8500 or something like that. Time to start my shopping list, says Fluffy Cow. Well, that's what we're here for. We are supplying the fish. That's what we do. Okay, chat is not scrolling smoothly. I'm looking for, hang on, I'm trying to find the next one. Oh no. All right, I know you guys can't see this, but it did it. So I guess next week I will try using a different browser. I think I will try to do something like Firefox or, I don't know. What's the other one? DuckDuckGo or... I don't know. But anyway, let me get this back. And what I'll do then is I'll just, I'll redo the giveaway entry. It went right before we do the giveaway. So if that happens again, we don't have to keep entering over and over throughout the night. So that's what we'll do. All right. Almost back. Boom. I'm back, baby. Okay. Let's do this. The good thing is that doesn't cut off the stream. It just makes it so I can't see anything on my end. But everything else is fine. Yeah. Okay, we'll reconnect Nightbot later when we're ready to do the giveaway. Thoughts on keeping clown killies with golden wonder killies? I think those golden wonder killies are going to absolutely devour, enjoy, and thank you for the snack. Clown killies aren't gonna stand a chance. How do you get the Corydoras to stick in your hard water, Aro? No, the nice thing about the Corydoras from the Sulawesi lakes is they like hard water. They're not like the crystal red shrimps or anything like that, like the softer water. So yeah, the wild type Sulawesi shrimps, hard water all day long. They love it. They breathe like crazy. We don't mess with our water. It's 79 degrees. It's been filtered. It's been cleaned, but we haven't messed with the parameters at all. And it's hard, super alkaline, and 79 degrees. They do great. Davis. EJ, if it works for you, type. Oh, yes, to get the bright orange. Yeah, EJ, what Dragon Layer said. Then I'll see your comment. Grant Bailey, just letting you know my Amazon puffers and neon yellow platies came in happy and healthy and sitting around 74 degrees. All right. Well, in this cold weather, that's a win. I think our temperatures, let's see here. I think Louisville is going to be 23 degrees tonight, if I remember right. Let's check here. What's the weather in my neck of the woods? So that was cold. We're going to be at 26 tonight. And Billings was going to be down, you know, somewhere low as well. So, yeah, we're definitely we've altered our heat pack usage to compensate for that. So the fish arrive hopefully right around 74 degrees, which is awesome. Even if you're up in the I don't know, up in New England. We shipped a box to Maine today, for example, even though it's really cold up there. Usually we have really good luck. You know, if there's a delay, sometimes things can get a little bit dicey, but usually even then, the fish do well. But yeah, got an Amazon puffer. Oh, what fun. Like an awesome wet pet. Those things are amazing. I think you're going to love that. The Moneyless Maven, aka Shirley. Do you have to buy from hobbyist breeders? Oh, do you like to buy? If so, what is your criteria you would say makes a good breeder? Yes, I love to buy from hobbyist breeders. My favorite place to source fish is from hobbyists. In fact, I'm really excited because this weekend, the one and only Rick May is going to, someone who breeds a lot of fish for us, is going to bring up another batch of his awesome fish. So I'm pretty excited for this weekend. What makes a good breeder? The thing I'm focused on is health. So I want the fish to be healthy. That's what I'm going for. Like the bar in this industry is pretty low. There's a lot of room for people to come in and raise the bar in this industry and absolutely crush it because the bar is super low. And if you raise it a little bit, your customers are going to notice because it's very easy to see that and want to keep buying from you. That's what we've experienced here at Dan's Fish. And I think that's the key to success in this industry at this point in time. So I want them healthy. I want the customer to buy them and for them to, you know, 3 months later, send me an email saying, I love these fish. They're doing fantastic. I haven't lost any of them. That's what I want. So provide me with fish that can do that and I'll be ecstatic. Now, the second part of that is they have to be customers that, fish that the customer is happy with. So, you know, we don't want deformed fins. We don't want bent spines. For certain fish, certain live bearers, we want the right colors and patterns for that specific domesticated live bearer. And if they're a live bearer, a domesticated strain of live bearer, we also want them to, the line to breed true, so that when a customer buys them and tries to propagate them, that when they get a bunch of babies, they're happy with the babies as well. But mostly, I want fish that are healthy. That's mostly what I'm going for. Healthy, and they will delight the customer with how their fin and body condition and all that, their finnage and all that is. So that's what I'm looking for. Just so you know, what we do when we buy from hobbyists is we can pay 25% of our retail cost. So if I sell fish for 20 bucks, I can give you 5 for it. We like to buy in quantity. 1 to 200 is an awesome starting number. I would buy 1,000 Celestial Pearl Danios tomorrow if there was a hobbyist breeder that I had experience with that I knew did a good job and was breeding those. I'd buy 1,000. That's a fish that is hard to keep in stock because it's hard to find healthy ones. And so people buy them from us in huge quantities, and the hobbyist breeders aren't producing that many. So that's when I would love to source from hobbyist breeders. And if you're interested, send us an email. If you're a hobbyist who has fish you've raised that you have in some quantity and you would like to think about selling them to Dan's Fish, send us an email, hello@dansfish.com. That's HELLO@dansfish.com. We'll respond with this sheet that we've worked up that like informs you of the process and the payment and how to do all this. and we can go from there. So yes, I want to buy fish from hobbyists, absolutely. Any hog-nosed Corys available? I don't have any right now. Amazon pancakes. Jacob Metzner, what are the goals for Dan's Fish for 2025? African cichlids? My goal, honestly, for 2025 is, there's a couple things. I'd like to grow another 25% financially, because once we do that, not only are we taking care of our employees really well, and they can stay with us long term if they want to make a lifetime career out of this, that's more an option. But also because at that point we'll have enough cash free to seriously consider like expanding the business. Do we, we can make some real choices at that point financially. Do we want to double the size of our building? Do we want to buy some new equipment? Do you want to, we'll have some cash freed up to not just work in the business, but to work on the business some more. So that's the financial goal. The other thing I want to do is just really fine tune what we're doing on the fish health and fish care sides. There's a lot we need to learn when it comes to fish disease and treatment. And the more we do that, the less fish we lose, and the healthier fish the customer gets, and the less fish they lose. And so that's something that we're working on hard, but I want to get more data on that. I want to fine tune that and have all that in a database. This is the other part, in a database that's easy to pull up and work with. So I want to get that information. We have some. I want to get more. I want to get it in a format that's convenient so that we can easily pull up the information we need to know how, hey, we got this fish from this supplier. Last time we got them, oh, okay, they had this disease, but here's the treatment that worked, so let's do that, stuff like that. So that's something we're working on quite a lot. Looks like we've dropped 3.3% of our frame. So not too bad, but I am going to just back off a bit on the kilobytes per second next stream. But not bad at all. Tampa Fish Gents. Have you ever had marbled headstanders? And in your experience, did they eat plants in your aquarium? So the only headstander that I've kept is the spotted headstander. Well, I've got the glass headstanders too, but those aren't. Sometimes they're called glass headstanders, sometimes they're called glass hatchets. Those aren't actually the same fish. The common name's similar, but the fish are actually not really closely related. So I'm not going to count those. So nope, no experience with marbled headstanders or eating plants. What I love about the spotted headstanders is when they eat, they make a clicking sound. Click, 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 click. So you put in a big pellet or something like that, and you watch the horde come and eat, and they're all talking. They're talking to each other. This really loud click that you can hear clearly. And that's so cool. Not that many fish, there's a few, but not that many fish make sounds that we can hear clearly. So that's pretty cool. Okay, Henry, I have a group of Manicapu angels all about the same age, and one is significantly smaller than the other 7. Is this typical? I think that it's often typical to have a runt of a litter. With fish, with other animals as well. I don't know why, but I've seen it repeatedly over the years in many different kinds of animals. So yes, I don't know why, but I do think it's typical. I think what sometimes happens is if the fish or the animals are in a place where they're growing rapidly, and one for some reason falls just a little bit behind, maybe it was feeling ill for a day and it didn't eat well or whatever, then it gets just this tiny bit behind. And the other members of the litter, the siblings, have just a tiny bit of an edge. So they feed better and they've grown quicker and they're a little bit stronger. And you compound that over the growth cycle of that organism, of that animal, and you end up with a big difference at the end. So I think it's got something to do with that. I mean, I'm just talking. I don't have any studies or haven't done deep research on that, but I've seen it over and over again. So I think it's pretty normal in a litter. Not Stefan has gifted 5 Dan's Fish memberships. Connor has gifted 5. Kelly Foreman has gifted 5. Get the fishmonger train. Get on the fishmonger train. Choo, 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 choo. Wow, that's a lot of membership giveaways. That's awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for making people Danios and Danionellas. I always forget that second. And Danionellas. Yeah. All right. Let's go here. EJ can't do that on mobile. But you did. Unless that was on your, maybe you weren't on mobile when you typed that. Yeah, but you're right. There are some platforms where it doesn't work. Yeah, Johnny's being volunteered to go to the class, says Mitchell. Yep, kind of like the Army volunteers people, right? Okay, you're volunteered to do this. Do you like to buy from hobbyist breeders? Already got that one. Yeah, so on the giveaway, if you enter multiple times, then the Nightbot technology disqualifies you. We don't want people spamming the chat. So just enter once, that's sufficient. Entering more doesn't help. In fact, it diminishes your chances, or maybe it gets rid of them all altogether. I don't know exactly how Nightbot does it. Joe Baldus. Yep, me too, Joe. Me too. Thoughts in keeping clown killies with golden wonders? Already got that one. Okay, I don't think I've done this one. DeLong. I got 8 teacup coral platies and 6 are males. Oh, should I try to get more females to prevent harassment? I wasn't needing 10 more fish. I don't think so. I think that the 6 males are gonna spar and like, you know, flex and try to one up each other enough that they'll pay enough attention to themselves that they aren't always paying attention to the females. So that's my guess. I mean, keep an eye on them, but my guess is that that's a big enough group that you're probably going to be okay. I could be wrong, though. I would definitely keep an eye on those ladies. Okay, scrolling because chat jumped. I'm trying to get back up. I saw something from Dan J, I believe it was. Can I see it again? Can I get back? Climb my way back up. Nope. Sorry, Dan J, would you list your comment again? I simply can't get back up to it. Atom, as in... splitting the atom. Collins, what plecos can we expect in the new year? Any of the hype and citrus types that I have listed on the website that say aquarium bred and raised, I would hope to be getting more of those in next year. Now, a few of those didn't sell well, like the, what's it called? The chocolate zebra plecos. No one really cared about those. It took forever to sell those. There's a couple species that I probably won't bring back in, but the rest of those I would like to bring in. Yeah, that would be the plan. That would be the hope, to do that again. Now, I do want to keep the blue phantom plecos in stock. Those are doing awesome for people, and the supplier I'm getting from them is doing an excellent job and has been for 6 months now, more than that maybe. So that's one of the few wild sourced fish that I think is done well. And so I plan to bring those in again. I would like to bring in mustard spot plecos and keep those in stock because I think they're awesome, but those aren't selling really well. So that might not be feasible. That might be one where I need to wait like 6 months before I get more and then just get a few. I don't have any plans right now to like vastly expand the pleco offerings or move a ton beyond the kinds of species we've already been selling. Billings is at 38 degrees right now, says Dan Duffy. Yeah, and dropping. It's definitely gonna be down in the 20s tonight. Orange cones. Hey, orange cones, how are you doing? It's great to hear from you. I hope you're doing really well. Happy holidays. Recently adopted a tank of gold and cherry barbs. Oh, gold barbs and cherry barbs from a family who could no longer keep the fish, moving overseas. Yellow and red. Need something orange for the bottom. Any ideas? The orange Venezuelans might be a good one for that. I don't know if you consider the color of a gold laser Cory or a red laser Cory to be kind of orangish, but if you do, that wouldn't be a bad one. I think that a lot of the red bushy nose could qualify as orange. The orange calico bushy nose is not bad. Let me show you this one. It's not pure orange, but it's kind of a cool one. So these LDA 16 orange calico bushies, it's a calico, but where it would normally be like a tan or a white, it's an orange color. So orange is like the base color, and the calico kind of comes over it, is what it looks like. And they've got orange tummies. I don't know if I've got a picture of one, but sometimes they have nice orange tummies. So I don't know, that's a decent bottom dweller. What else? You could get orange shrimp. Nah, your gold barbs would probably eat the shrimp. I don't know, hopefully that's enough to get you started. And great to hear from you, my friend. I really hope you and yours are doing really well. Dan Brown, I shouted you out last weekend at the Sacramento Aquarium Society meeting by wearing my Dan's Fish merch shirt. Boom! Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you, Dan. I appreciate it. One day I'd like to get over there and give a talk to that club. I grew up in that club. Meeting at the old, was it a Pizza Hut? Round Table Pizza? No, I think it was Pizza Hut. Yeah, that's the club I cut my teeth on. I'd love to go back. Tuxedo Pit Bulls. I live in northern Wisconsin and it's -7. How would you ship fish here? Well, believe it or not, we do that, and we do that successfully. We use well-insulated boxes. We have enough water in the box that there's some temperature stability introduced there, because it takes a lot of specific heat to change the temperature of water. And so if you put enough bags with fish, or if there's not enough fish, just water in them, in the box, you'll create this fairly stable environment in the insulation. And then we just use the appropriate heat packs and next day shipping. So if you're not in a hurry, Tuxedo, and you live in a really, really cold spot where it's really dipping down, then it wouldn't hurt to wait till after the holidays when the likeliness of having a delay is less. But we haven't had massive delays. We had a few within the last week. But so far, I think it's going pretty well. But as we get closer to the holidays, it definitely does get more likely that there'll be delays, which is why we cut off shipping a couple weeks before Christmas. So we just don't want to get too close, because then we will have delays for sure. But yeah, we ship in very cold weather, and usually it goes just fine. I mean, I live in Wyoming. Last year I was driving a bunch of fish back from Denver from the airport where I'd picked them up, and I believe, no cap, I believe it was -38 that day. Like, I know what cold is. I'm very familiar with it. Zen Gory Cats, would 10 chili rasbors and 8 Neocaridina shrimp be too much for a 7-gallon? It depends on how you have it set up and how you care for it, but I don't think so. I think you could do that. Like, I'm thinking of my little 5.5-gallon tanks, which are bigger than or smaller than your 7-gallon tank, and I would comfortably keep those in there. So I think you could do that. The caveat is that the smaller the tank, the quicker the parameters in there can shift on you. So if a heater sticks on, that tank's going to overheat a lot quicker than, I don't know, a 10-gallon tank, 20-gallon tank. If you have an ammonia issue, that can explode a lot more quickly than in a larger tank, just because there's a smaller amount of water to mitigate that. So that's the big caveat, but yeah, I think that would work. Tracy S. Mr. S. I heard the other day that I should dispose of any fish food over 6 months old, even if not expired. Is this true in your opinion? I actually do it before that. If it's opened, so has the seal been broken? If the seal has been broken, then I don't like to keep the fish food around for much more than a couple months. I just think if it's exposed to oxygen, you're gonna have oxidation, and yeah, the nutrition value is gonna go down. The oils eventually are gonna go rancid, and oxygen's the enemy. It's gonna get in there, and it's gonna affect the fish food. So for me, I actually personally like to do it quicker than every 6 months. Boots cats. Is there a formula for figuring out size, quantity of heat packs needed? Yes, we have a flow chart that the software follows, where it's like, if it's this temperature in this size box, if this temperature is here and here and here, if the answer is yes, go here. If it's no, drop here. And then each of those flows out and drops and flows. It's like this big expanding I don't know. It's this big expanding thing that it really helps if you have software helping you manage that. But yeah, there definitely is. Not so much a software as a flowchart, or not so much a formula as flowchart. Fishy Jake Outdoors. Any thoughts on environment versus genetics when it comes to spinal and fin deformities? How often is it a heritable genetic disorder? Maybe question for Kate. I don't know. I don't know how much of it is environment versus genetics versus straight up disease. I have no idea. I'm sorry, I can't help you with that one. Wish I knew. Andrew Tupper, have you ever thought about bringing in and selling Tucano tetras? Yes, I have. I just got back from Singapore, and it seems like these fish are gaining popularity over there. Yeah, they're awesome. The problem is the price point's really high. And right now, I can source them on occasion, but I can't source them at a price point that I think the market will bear. And so I haven't taken that risk yet. I think they're awesome. Neat little tetra. Just too expensive at the moment. Okay, scrolling down here to Fishcapades. Do we need to re-enter the giveaway or wait? Not sure after your chat crash. Yeah, wait. I'm gonna redo that right when I'm about ready to do the giveaway, so that we don't get in a situation where if it, I don't know what's the term, it's not really crashing. It's yeah, if the chat crashes again, then it's like, okay, let's do it again. And then it happens again, and then it happens again. Like, I don't want that. We'll just do it once, draw right after that, and be done. That'll be less annoying. CS, will you have any autosinkless coming in soon? Yes, we have some that we hope to be able to sell within the next couple of weeks. So just waiting on them to get through quarantine and get fat and sassy. Autos are not a fish that you want to sell before you're 110% sure that they're doing well. They need to be eating really well. You need to not have had losses for quite a while. Anyone in the industry can tell you that there's a lot of autos available in the industry on the market, but getting nice healthy ones, that doesn't happen all that often. So we're really careful with how we supply them and then how we treat them here. And we just, knowing that a lot of people that get autos are not successful long-term with them, we put in extra time and extra effort just to make sure that, okay, if we sell this to you, is it still going to be around 6 months afterwards? That's what we want to get to. So it takes us a little while. They've kind of got to be really good shape before we're willing to send those out. Also, we've got a reputation to uphold. We're known for healthy autosynchlas, and we don't want to do anything to compromise that. I'm breeding my imaginary Vulcan and Fireball Corys as you speak, says Donald Hall. Well, may you do that, and hopefully they produce unimaginary babies that I can buy from you. Dane Hudson, where does someone go? Wait, talking's hard. Reading's hard. Let's do that again. Dane Hudson, where does someone get some golden tetras, and what info on care and just in general do you have on golden tetras? So, Dane, golden tetras are awesome. However, they often disappoint customers because not all golden tetras are golden. The gold sheen comes from a parasite that they have. That's what causes that bright gold coloration. And so if you have parasite-free golden tetras, they're just kind of a silver color. So the only way to get golden tetras that look really good is to get golden tetras that are infected with a parasite. And yeah, that's what the thing is there. So we kind of stay away from them. I don't even know if the parasite is super detrimental to the fish or not. I haven't dug into it that much. But I've gotten, before I knew this, I bought nice healthy golden tetras from a breeder. They weren't wild or anything, and they came in and they were small and they were kind of silvery and brown. And I kept waiting for them to color up, and I sold a bunch, and I didn't realize they wouldn't turn gold. And I kept waiting for them to color up, and they never got that bright, bright, bright gold color. And later, that's when I learned, oh no, that's a disease. Like, that's the byproduct of a parasite. So, yeah. So that's not what I'm getting into right now. Now, not all parasites really damage their host, so maybe it's not that big a deal. Finally sent the pictures of the Mikolji Oscar. Not great quality, but finally got one of each of them. Awesome. Dark Fang 69. I heard that you have potentially found a source of, some of these scientific names. Brachiohaphis rosenae. Is that true? Also, I'd love to see some more uncommon Gambusia species for sale, such as Hurtadoi. Well, if you would breed them, I would buy them from you. There's not a lot of places I can source rare Gambusia, and there's not much of a market for them either. So, so here is the other live bear we're talking about, the rosenae. Rosenae, probably. Yeah, that's a pretty one. Did I say I have a source for these? What's the common name? I don't know if there is a common name. Let's see. Cardinal tooth carp. If I said I have a source for them, I do for Liberty Mollies. They look similar to Liberty Mollies, so maybe that's what I was talking about. Or did I have a source that I've forgotten about? I doubt it. Yeah, I don't know of today, I don't know of a source for these off the top of my head. But they're pretty cool looking. I would like to get those. If you bred those, that's one I would buy from you. That is a cool looking little fish for sure. You know, a lot of the Gambusia, though, just don't have really much, any color, and those are hard to move. But that one's a nice looking fish. Yes, hit that like, says Mostly Mabuna. Member of the Fishmonger crew for 7 months. Thanks for your membership, Mostly Mabuna. We appreciate you being a Danio or Danionella. Reform says, I trimmed my Amazon puffer's beak the other day. Your video on it was a lifesaver. Thank you for posting it. Yeah, it's not the most highest viewed video for sure, but I think the information is useful. Like, just how much clove oil? Like, you know, that's good to know. And what does this actually look like when I'm doing this? That might help people get over the like anxiety and actually do it. I think I'll mess with the color of the stream a little more for next time. I'll have to see what it looks like on the replay, but or maybe I need to mess with the ISO just a little bit more. It's like I've got this weird pink hue on my face that comes and goes, so got to figure that out. Oh well, still better than it used to be, I think. Until I met Dan's fish a couple of months ago, I didn't realize how cool he is, says Dean's Fish Room. Well, Dean, I always knew how cool you were. Like there was no, you can't hide the coolness of Dean. Like it just, it radiates. Hey Dean, good to hear from you. And it was so good to meet you. It was so fun hanging out with you for a few days. I had a great time. I hope we can do it again. If you're ever in Wyoming, I'd love to return the favor. I'll be the guy that drives you around and you know, takes you to breakfast and shows you the cool stuff. Rich Lidstrom, hey Rich, how you doing, my friend? I really hope you're doing great. Enjoyed the video with Dean this week. Hey, we've got a theme running. Really impressed with the continuous improvement in your upgraded shipping methods compared to the absolute best-in-class method from when I visited. Yeah, so when Rich came out and hung out with me for about a week, I think, we only had these little handheld manual impulse sealers. And Rich did a shipping day with me, and he went through the whole thing. So yeah, it's nice to have. Well, what happened, Rich, is we got to the point where like just putting labels on the bags was taking 12 hours. So it's like, we got to find a solution. Like this is a terrible use of man hours. So we found a machine, and we've had to do some stuff to it to make it work perfectly, but we got this machine to work to print on the plastic bags. And so that's been awesome. We can just load up the day's orders and print those out. Karen, the machine that seals and fills the bags with oxygen, that's been super helpful. Yeah, there's in having the water in the sink automatically come out at the right amount for the bag size, that's been good. Like we're doing what we can. I'm sure you would have ideas though, man, with your background on how to make it even better. But we haven't stopped. We're continuously trying to figure out how to make it work better. Gold Nugget Pleco, Tetra. I don't know if you got my email, but the Liberty Mollies are doing fantastic. Oh, Gold Nugget, I'm glad to hear that. I hope they breed for you. You get 1 million babies, and then I can buy them from you and resell them. That's what I want to happen. Cassandra, in your experience, are cories more sensitive than other fish? I have the most trouble with them than any other fish. No, cories are super hardy. They're not super sensitive. The problem is the supply chain. They're often quite crowded. They're not shipped in a way that prevents them from jabbing each other and things like that. Cories are tough, awesome fish, but they're often not transported correctly. The other thing is they're not sensitive, but they are a bottom feeder. And so there's a lot of worms and parasite eggs and stuff down on the bottom of a pond or a coffin. So in the industry, there's these coffin ponds, basically. Because back in the day, what the fish farmers would do for cheap ponds is they would buy these cheap cement coffins and use them. At least that's what they looked like. And so they're called coffins, but or aquariums or whatever. If you're on the bottom, sucking on the bottom a lot, you're very likely to pick up some worm eggs or something like that, and your parasite load might be kind of high. So no, I just think honestly that cories are tough, awesome fish that are usually transported and handled incorrectly in the supply chain, and that's where the trouble comes from. For example, panda cories, hardy fish, easy, shouldn't be a problem. But I've had to go through, I don't know, 8 suppliers to find one that actually does it right and that I can get healthy panda cories from. And even then, I'm wondering long term if that's going to be the case. So, yeah, but when you get them and they've been treated right, they're hardy, they're healthy, they're awesome, they do great. Unfortunately, the industry doesn't always do that. So half of my job, I literally spent the second half of Monday and yesterday morning into mid-afternoon. I think I finished at about 3:30 yesterday. just working on sourcing fish in a way to where the fish would be treated correctly and packed in the right densities and all that. So it takes a lot of time, and it's not unusual for me to spend a day or two a week just trying to make sure that happens. And so luckily we found several suppliers that tend to do that, but you have to kind of keep on it and not let that degrade. We've tried a new supplier for some other fish, like salt and pepper cories, the dwarf salt and pepper cory, Corydoras habrosus, or whatever the new genus is for them. And we've tried 2 batches. They're doing okay. I can tell that the company cares and is willing to do the work to ship them less densely and all that. We still got a little work there to do, though, to make it exactly what it needs to do. But that's a large part of my job, is just making sure, first of all, we can find enough fish, because we go through a lot of fish. And second, that I can find the sources that are going to treat them humanely and ship according to our standards. And it's not usually a default thing. Usually it takes a lot of working with the supplier and explaining what we're trying to do, and like, hey, you want to do business with us, this is what we need to happen. And a couple times before they really get it and all that. So it's always a work in progress. But nope, cories are hardy. They're just unfortunately not treated correctly. Is a flowchart something you'd be willing to share? It's not in a format that's shareable. It's not something that I think would be very useful to folks if you're not like intimately connected to our day-to-day operations. Miranda Bauer, my very first order from you arrives tomorrow. All right, Miranda. I'm so excited to add the cardinal tetras to my current school. I hope they do well. Love how you source the fish ethically. Well, Miranda, I hope that they do well for you too. I hope we knock your socks off tomorrow. Would you send us an email at hello@dansfish.com and say, this is Miranda, we talked yesterday in the live stream, and let us know how they arrived. I'd love to hear from you. Kyle, are you going to give West African fish a try again? I am, but I'm going to wait for the weather to warm up at the very least. There is someone that I've worked with on a few orders who I think might be worth revisiting. They've been keeping in contact with me. They've been showing me the improvements they're making. They've been keeping me abreast of what their company and their progress and everything. And so I might do that. Okay, how do you say that? Crocodilius nicoticus? Crocodilius nicoticus. So like nicotine crocodile? Like what is that? Oh, Niloticus. All right. Well, anyway, will you have any zebra autocinkless coming in soon? I hope so. I'm trying to get some in. Whether they arrive or not is beyond my control, but I do have some that I have requested. Bugsy's Craft Works. What is the best way to feed autos? Okay. So when you first get the autos in, they're all wild caught. I mean, except for the black autos that we have for sale right now. Those are the first true aquarium bred and raised autos that I'm aware of, that I've ever carried. The rest are sourced from the wild. So they're not going to be accustomed to the foods that we feed in the aquariums. So we have to get them accustomed to that. But before we do that, the main challenge with autos is getting them healthy. They're going to be full of parasites. I don't think we've ever had a batch of autocinkless arrive from the wild that wasn't just full of parasites. So the first thing is you got to clear the parasites out. Otherwise, even if they want to eat, they're going to often feel too sick to eat. So get that taken care of. Once that's taken care of, actually while that's been taken care of, my favorite thing to do is get a bunch of pieces of driftwood or rocks, or we use plates a lot, like dinner plates, and put them in a container of water with a really, really heavy light on them with some nutrients in the water. I'm trying to grow algae, not long stringy algae. I want that brown diatom algae or that kind of slick green algae to coat those. And so take one of those, put it in the tank with the auto while the others are developing algae. When that one's been cleared off, remove it, put the new one in. And it might take a few of them to produce enough algae you can continually rotate in a plate or a rock or whatever you're using that has a coating of algae on it. That's gonna help them when they first get to you and they're not feeling great and they're full of parasites and they haven't learned what aquarium food is yet. They'll naturally eat that stuff. So have some of that on hand. That's very helpful. Then, once they're parasite free enough to actually start to eat, start putting in algae wafers and seeing if I can get them to eat. Now, the other thing I'll do is I'll put in Bacter AE. That is like this fine kind of biofilm type food. It's this fine powder. Put that in there. That'll settle to the bottom and cover the surfaces, and they'll munch on that. So between you're rotating in these items covered with algae, so the autos can eat that, while you're introducing them to these other foods, algae wafers. We slice zucchini in coins, stick it on a fork so it sinks, drop it in the tank. There's all these things that we're feeding them, introducing them to, but we don't want them to starve. And so we're feeding them these algae, items while they're doing that. If the fish is healthy, it only takes a few days for them to kind of start eating algae wafers, zucchini on a fork, those types of things. But it's important to kind of get those parasite loads knocked down pretty quickly with autos. Whoops World, hey, I know you primarily focus on the smaller community type fish, but have you ever brought in the electric blue Jack Dempsey? And if so, have you had good luck with them long term? Until about last week, I would have said yes, I've had good luck with them long term. So yeah, I brought them in, I've grown them up, I've had some adults for many months, never had a problem. And then just, I don't know, a couple weeks ago maybe, started having problems. So what I found with them is they're aggressive among themselves, as you would expect when you get a pair pairing off, right? They do what Jack Dempseys do when they pair off, and they get aggressive. So we've had to separate some of those out. I haven't seen them be aggressive with the other species in the tank, but among themselves, they're quite aggressive. But as far as besides the aggression, which I guess shouldn't come as a big surprise there, Jack Dempsey, but I hadn't experienced it. I had these big adults and they had been fine for many, many months. And so it kind of surprised me. I was thinking that the electric blue strain must just be a little bit milder or something. But when it hit hard. So I have to amend some of the things I've thought before and say, no, electric blues get aggressive with enough time. But as far as health and stuff, yeah, that's, as long as they're kept well and everything, then yeah, I've had them healthy for months and months. I think they're an awesome fish. Jason McGibb, so, okay, back to whip. Part of why I think they have a reputation for being delicate is because there's a lethal gene in there. And so if you get homozygous for electric blue, they're not going to survive long. So you have to have the heterozygous to breed them and have healthy ones. So I think because of that, they got this reputation. But in my experience, the hets are nice and, yeah, nice and healthy. Okay, Jason, love seeing you with Dean. Some great minds in one fish room. Some beautiful bald heads together. That's right. That's what that was. Beautiful bald heads together. 606 in the chat. Holy cow, that's a new record. That is pretty good. I think we should celebrate. Let's do that with a giveaway, shall we? All right, the time has come. We're going to redo the giveaway here. All right, so enter hashtag Cory, hashtag CORY, no spaces, caps don't matter, to be entered to win a group of Corydoras eques tonight. We'll give it a couple minutes while that all gets entered in the chat here in Nightbot. And then in a couple minutes, we'll draw that. And we won't wait too long just because, you know, I don't want chat to crash again. And then we have to do it again and again and again repeatedly. All right, Big Steve's Glass Boxes has gifted a membership. Big Steve, hello, how are you? Hope you're doing really well. Looking forward to meeting you when I go speak at your fish club. In, I believe, April is when I'll be in your neck of the woods. $606, that's a new record in the chat. That's pretty awesome. There are now 542, so if you wouldn't mind taking a moment, sharing this out, getting folks that you think might like this kind of content in here. I missed the 606. I'd love to see that again. Well, I never knew it was a parasite. I thought it was a bacteria. Oh, maybe it is a bacteria, Dane. Okay, now I gotta know. In my mind, I thought it was a parasite. Maybe it is a bacteria. Gold tetra color. Okay, let's see. What is this? The gold, brass or gold tetra. Yeah, it looks more brass when it doesn't have the parasite or bacteria. I'm trying to see. Oh, it's a parasite. Yeah. The rivers are generally slow-moving, strongly colored, and dimly lit. These same rivers also are home to a parasite called a trematode. The gold tetra is prone to infection from. This infection actually causes the skin coloration in the tetra and turns them a brilliant burnished gold or brass color. This parasite is missed from the aquaculture facilities that produce these fish, and so the specimens that you get from them will only have hints of gold. With this in mind, it's pretty easy to see when you're buying aquaculture specimens or wild-caught individuals, unless they're small, like mine were, and I got them. So, yeah, it's a trematode, apparently, which is a parasite, not a bacteria. So, all right, glad we could clear that up, because, I mean, the last time I read about this was a few years ago, so I was like, did I get that wrong? Maybe my memory served me wrong, but I think I was right. I think it's a trematode. Amazon pancakes, delicious. With shipping, do you ship directly to our house, or do we have to pick up at the airport? Oh no, it arrives on your doorstep. Yeah, for that cost, it better be directly to your house. Yes, it's UPS next day air to your address. Oh yeah. Tuxedo Pit Bulls, I just got 5 lemon blue-eye plecos today, and they were dead. They got too cold. They were shipped in a cardboard box with paper in a cold heat pack. I cried. Oh, I'm sorry, Tuxedo Pit Bulls. I'm pretty darn sure you didn't buy those from us, because I don't think we have any lemon. Do we have lemon blue-eye plecos right now? No, I don't. Would you, Tuxedo, did you get those from me? I'm pretty sure you didn't, but if you did, I would really want to make it right. But I think what you're saying is someone shipped you 5 lemon blue-eye plecos in a cardboard box that didn't have any real insulation, just paper. In which case, they definitely were not from us. And I don't think I've had any of those available for a little while. But if I'm reading that wrong and you did get them from us, I need to know that, because I've got some stuff to fix. But there's no way we sent them without the styro liner and all that, though. So. But could you calm my mind and let me know? All right, there's 318 folks who are entered to win 642 concurrent viewers. Holy cow! That is definitely a new record. Thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks for spending your Wednesday with us. We're now going to do the drawing for some Corydoras eques. Nice little group of these guys. Beautiful fish, awesome, hardy, just as fun as any Cory can be. Pretty expensive, hard to source, not the easiest to breed, but absolutely stunning little fish. I imagine that that might be the reason that we're at 600 whatever viewers, because people want a chance to win those. So we're not going to make you wait any longer. The winner is Fluffy Cow! Fluffy Cow, my neighbor from across the mountain. Fluffy Cow, congratulations. You have won the Corydoras eques. That's awesome. Happy holidays. Well, you've almost won them. You know the rules. You have 2 minutes to chime in. Oh, you already did. Fluffy Cow is here. Fluffy Cow ain't messing around. All right, Fluffy Cow, that's pretty cool. It's always fun when like the first drawing I ever did, a local guy won named Pistol Abbott, who has actually helped me for years pack fish and help me wire things and run pipes and all that. He's that kind of guy. But I think that was the first, or one of the first I ever did. Of course, at that time there were maybe 12 people watching the live stream, so your odds were really good. I think it's been, I don't think anyone from Wyoming has won since then, though. Maybe Pam. Maybe Pam did once. Yeah, so it's awesome when another Wyoming neighbor has won. That's great. Congratulations. That's really cool. All right. We've got a few more chat stuff to get to, though, so let's do that. See, I want to see if Tuxedo Pitbulls responded. I'm confident we weren't the ones that sent those plecos. We would not have sent them as I think they were described, but I got to set my mind at ease here. Scrolling up here looking for, no, not from you, dear. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Pitbull. I didn't think so, but that would keep me up if I hadn't got confirmation on that one. Well, I'm really sorry that happened. I wish I had some available that I could get to you. I love listening while I work in the fish room. Yeah, that's what this kind of stuff is often for. Like, when I listen to live streams, often it's because of that. Like today I was listening to a live stream because I was going around cleaning glass so that tomorrow I can take some pictures of some of the awesome fish we have here and get them listed on the website for you guys. Caitlin DeRosier? Oh, did I get it? Let's go with that. What is your deworming protocol? It depends on the worm. So we don't have a single protocol because there's a lot of different types of worms, and we're getting better and better at treating each type of worm the way it needs to be treated. And honestly, right now, that protocol is fluid. As we learn, we're changing it. And as we learn, we're changing it. So once we get to the point where we feel like, okay, we've got this locked in enough that we can confidently share this information out there, we will do that. And you will all know how we treat parasites. And a banana. Cardinal tetras I got from you are spawning as I watch your stream. Oh, that's awesome. I know eggs will be eaten by other fish in the tank, but this is so awesome. I concur. Fabulous. I'm glad to hear that. That makes my heart happy. I'm glad that they got you in good shape. I'm glad that they got you in such good shape that they're spawning. And a banana, thanks for sharing that. That made my day. Beautiful. All right, there's a couple more here. Fluffy Cow says, yes, for these, I'm on this. Like he's watching this with an eagle eye. Renzo Eid, will you branch out to bigger fish eventually? I'd love to source some big stuff knowing they are healthy. Renzo is not out of the question. I have a soft spot for discus. So one day I'd like to set up a rack of tanks, especially for discus. I like a lot of some of the larger puffers. I like a lot. Some of the cichlids are really personable. Goldfish, like one day I'd like to set up a system just for fancy goldfish. So yeah, there's some of the larger fish I'd like to do. That being said, there's a a lot of larger fish that don't make sense for a business to carry because they're big, they take a lot of space. Some of them are aggressive. There's not as big a market for them because not as many people have sufficient space to carry them. But I could see myself one day doing like African cichlids, for example, like Lake Tanganyika. I would love to really dig into that. I like Mabuna and Malawi stuff as well. But right now, though, I think that places like Imperial Tropicals and Cichlid Hut or Cichlid Shack and some other places do a fairly good job with like some of your Malawi cichlids and things. And so the thing to crack right now is definitely the smaller peaceful community fish. That's the thing where I'm like, I don't know that many places that are really raising the bar there. Now, I think Mike over at Imperial Tropicals does a good job. I want to give him his due. I've talked to the guy. I think his heart's in the right place. I think he's really trying to do a good job. I think that I know the folks over at the Wet Spot. I've had conversations with them. I know they work super hard and they have a really good reputation. So there's places that are kind of, trying to do things well. But I think that there's still a lot of improvement to be had in your kind of small, peaceful community fish, stuff that'll usually go in a planted tank, that kind of stuff. And I think that that is lagging behind kind of the Malawi cichlid, some of the Malawi cichlid sources where you can get healthy stuff. And so, yeah, I think there's more work to do in this before we branch out. I really love the like Geophagus, for example. They get decent size, but they're pretty darn peaceful and they're beautiful and they're just an interesting fish the way they spawn and biparental mouth brooding and all that neat stuff. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of fish of kind of that size that I like a lot, but I have to kind of crunch the economics in it. Like, do I ever sell full-grown adults or do I just sell juveniles? There's a lot of Severums that I think are really cool. But right now I've got so much on my plate with just what I'm doing that I haven't dug deep into that. I'd have to build out that business model. I'd have to run some, I don't know, some financials and be like, okay, I like these fish, but if I get them, am I going to go out of business? Like, that's something I'm going to have to look at. Yeah. Okay. I have 5 Ember Tetras arriving from you tomorrow. They're replacing 5 Chili Rasbors that, to my horror, Green Neon ate. Oh, once they grew up a little bigger. Lesson learned. Hey, that's one happy Green Neon, though. That was a fat and sassy Neon Tetra. Green Neon, just Neon Tetra. Oh, sorry that happened, but hey, you made your Neon Tetra happy. Anyway, I hope the Ember Tetras do really well for you. And last one, Tuxedo Pit Bulls. I looked on your site and you don't have them. If you did, I would have ordered them during the live stream, but thank you for your kindness. Yeah, no worries. I wish we did have some for you, but I'm sorry that happened. I mean, there's a reason we do the strict procedures and protocols that we do. Just, there are no shortcuts when it comes to transporting live animals. Like, if you're taking shortcuts and being like, well, the shipping method is $5 cheaper, even $10 cheaper, whatever, is cheaper, I think I'll do that. Well, is that best for the fish? No, so there's all these choices we make here and we kind of do it this way. We ask some questions. Is this good for the fish? If it's not, it's like, well, then, we can't do that. Is this good for the customer? If it's not, we're probably not going to do it. Sometimes though, what's good for the customer versus what's the customer asking for. Like, if the customer is asking for something like, I want priority shipping, UPS or USPS priority shipping, then that first question is this good for the fish? negates that, right? It's kind of that decision tree, kind of that flow chart. Is this sustainable for our workforce? Can we as a team here at Dan's Fish handle this thing? And is there data to support this decision? Do we know that this is going to be good for the fish? Do we actually know this is going to be good for the customer, or are we assuming? So that's kind of the decision tree. And there's really not a way to compromise on that when you're dealing with live animals. It's just, there's going to be problems. So yeah, there's a reason we run those strict things. And your experience, unfortunately, kind of highlights that reason. All right, with that, I'm going to be back next week with the classic Christmas live stream of the Spawning Mop Beard giveaway. We'll be back. That's Wednesday of this coming week. It's a fun giveaway that we do every Christmas season. Hope you join us to enjoy that. Let's sign off, though. I want to thank the moderators for moderating. I want to thank everyone that's a member of the channel, especially if you're a member that gave memberships away today. Thank you for your support. Thank you for helping other people become members. We appreciate that very much. If you threw money at us, thank you for the super chats. Always appreciated, never required. But we are a small little company. We are the little engine that could, and we appreciate all of the help. If you were active in the chat, thanks for participating. If you were not active in the chat, we still love you. Hail the Lurker Nation. If you're watching the replay, hello from the past. And if you are listening to the podcast, then miraculously, I got on Podbean and loaded up probably 9 months worth of live streams because I'm so far behind. And I appreciate your patience while I got to that, and thanks for listening. We'll be back next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Happy holidays, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.